Welcome everyone to the BMW M2 competition. I'm a bit late to the party of getting behind the wheel of this car, and I'm sure you have seen many great videos on YouTube already. However, I had to drive one when I had the chance, a bit like now. This should have the perfect ingredients of being the ultimate BMW driving machine. So let's find out in the traditional manner. Here we are, the BMW M2 competition. First time driving this. I hear so many stories about it. There's so many good videos out there. Joe Achilles has done really good videos, and many other journalists have done really good ones too. So I'm kind of the last one to drive one of these. However, I have been thankful with the owner who's basically given me full permission to rag the living daylights out of this. So what's the M2 like? Well, let's recap it a little bit, because the previous BMW M2, which they don't make anymore, well, I reckon that was the best car they made. It felt really good, really confidence inspiring. A small, wide, flared arch car that just was fantastic in many ways. It just didn't have the BMW M engine, which this car does have now. They don't make that car, like I said, anymore. And here comes the BMW M2 competition, now meeting its new Euro standards, and it's got an OPF filter. We'll talk about that later on. It's got the S55 detuned straight 6 engine that you get from the BMW M3, M4, makes 400 horsepower. This car has got the DCT gearbox, which does add a few kilograms to the weight. We've got all of that out of the way. I've got everything turned off, all the systems off. Let's drop down the gear and give it some the beans. One thing to mention is the engine. BMW have learned not to put the torque peak too low in the car. Most of the power comes in at about 3.5, and it wants to rev all the way to 7,000 RPM. That is really good. The M3, I know the M3 isn't a comparison, but the M3 just had too much of a spiky torque peak, and I was worried that this car would suffer the same sort of similar problem, but it doesn't, which I'm absolutely grateful for. Suspension's been changed, dampers, spring rate's been changed, more so to handle with the extra power and to give the car a lot more control. On the road, when you're on the move, it's nice, it's really good, it feels firm, but it's really soft. I'm actually amazed by how soft it is over some various sort of bumps. So I quite like that too. What I don't like is they've introduced the M Sport steering adjustments, so you can get like Sport, Comfort, Sport Plus. Why can't it just have one setting? I don't like that. In Comfort, well, they've recalibrated it, and do you know what? It's the best steering system in the class of what they make, so well done on that, BMW. It's definitely better off centre than the last M2, which I actually quite like. DCT gearbox. People moan about it. I haven't driven a manual car. I hopefully will be driving a manual one from Joe Achilles, so later on. But DCT gearbox, I actually like the DCT gearbox. It actually suits the character of this car really well, and I know it's an informative thing, but mid-corner, in second gear, because the gear shifts are so quick, you can grab an extra gear, which I actually quite like, but like that. I have it in mode shift free this time round, just to keep things in check, but it does spin into the next gear, which is alright if you're going for a hoon, but at the same time isn't too bad. What I do love about the M2 competition is how usable it is, because it's still a 2 Series platform, and I love its humble sort of shape with the car. It's really nice and to live with. Obviously, when we're doing all the sort of cutaway shots and we're turning the car and we're doing 3-point turns constantly, you can see out of it really well. It's got 4 seats, it's got Harman Kardon. You can daily this car really well. I mean, at 50 grand, it is quite a bit of money, but then rivals like the Porsche Cayman 718 and the Alpine A110, haven't driven an Alpine A110, so I'll rival it to the Cayman. And do you know what, I'd have one of these over the Cayman, really would. I wasn't expecting this car to be that good, but it's actually won me over, more so than I thought. I thought this car was a bit too overrated. It has got some flaws, one of which is when you're going for a proper B-road hoon, the brakes just do not live up to the standard. The pedal feels a bit soft and they just seem to fade just as you come on top of it, and it triggers the ABS ever so slightly. So in moist, damp conditions like today where you do hit black ice, the car just seems a little bit upset, and you can just imagine when you're going on a track day, brakes don't last. But what BMW M car or M Light makes good brakes? In case you don't know, I'm a massive fan of the BMW 1M. To me, it's everything that I want from a BMW M car. When it first came out, people didn't like it because it was turbocharged, and you know, a turbocharged M car is totally unacceptable, but it just had that Frankenstein feel about it. And when I drove the M2, I was hoping to get that same sort of feel, but unfortunately it didn't. It felt too resolved, which sounds like rubbish really, because obviously you want a car that's resolved, whereas this does have a hint of, I don't know, craziness to it. If you're not careful, it can catch you out. But I'll tell you what, you can slide this car anywhere you want it, any corner, any gear. As a drift car, I'm going to give this a solid 9.5 out of 10 because it's just really nice. The brake array is really good, steering's really good as well too. It's got a nice speed. It can sort of do the two things. It can be a really nice track car, it can be a really nice B-road car, it can also be a nice day, and in fact road noise is really good as well too. I didn't think I was going to like this car. I really didn't think. I was hoping to pick holes because I'm one of those BMW guys that likes previous generations E39. I was hoping to say I have a Z4M coupe with a few mods done to it over this, but yet again the M2 is the top of the BMW M tree, and oh man, one thing I can't stop helping but do is do massive skids. It's just sweet when you get up on it. And the engine, again, it's not the most characterful one, and obviously some of the noise is piped in. I'm not too bothered about that, if I'm honest. That's just moving on with the times. You can do an exhaust though. You can't hear much of it on the outside. It's loud, but it's not crazy loud. I just think it just needs more vocal noise. And what I mean by like that is I don't think it needs pops and bangs, but it is good. It is a good laugh. And after your hoon, you just put everything back into D. You've got the M1, M2 settings, so you put M1 back into comfort, go for a little smooch around, and that's it. You've got the new BMW iDrive, which is now touchscreen, and you can plug in your Apple CarPlay. It's got Harman Kardon, the sound system's really good. It's really nice. People moan about the DCTs being a bit jerky. They are a little bit, but it's alright. I really like it, and I love these seats. Obviously these seats are lifted straight from the BMW M3, M4, and yeah, really nice, really supportive. I think I'm sitting a bit high though. I feel like I'm sitting higher than I was in the previous M2 seat, but the trade-off is you get really nice support. So where do I see this M2 competition? Well, I would have one of these over a Cayman, definitely. The Cayman 718 is a great car, and the chassis is well resolved than this, definitely, because it's mid-engine and it's Porsche and they just know what to do. But the engine in that car is just, it's not right, it just feels wrong. A flat 4 boxer engine, it's just, it's just not nice at all, and to me that is a killer. This though, I like the way it looks as well. Hockenheim silver. People don't like the rims. I quite like the rims. I thought my Cayman GT4 was good actually. And this is actually on the road, where you're going to spend majority of your time, is a much more enjoyable car. A much more enjoyable car. Oh man, I really wanted to hate this M2. Really wanted to hate it. BMW actually made a really good car. I love the power delivery. People say, oh, it's lacking power and it feels detuned. No, it doesn't. I also thought that this car was too heavy. I still think it's too heavy. I mean, over 1,600 kilograms is just not, it's not right in my opinion. Not right at all. Especially a car of this size as well. If you wanted the one car to do pretty much everything, including seating people, which you can do, probably not on long journeys, but you can still seat people, and it's around about £50,000. This is it, man.